6:43 this morning, Wake Up C-Bus is your back-to-school headquarters, and we are making sure you and your family are ready for that first day of class.
This morning, we're talking about a very real threat Ohio schools could face any day, and that's an active shooter. And that's why schools in Ohio are required to have at least one active shooter training a year. It's information that also goes beyond the classroom. And full transparency here, many of us here at 10 TV recently went through the active shooter training known as CRAZE.
And we uncovered a few things that could possibly save your life that you did not know. We do want to warn you that what you're about to watch is a training exercise. No real gunfire, but a very real lesson. It's an unmistakable sound. Gunfire ringing through the halls of a school. Something these teachers at Eastland Prep Academy hope to never hear.
Expect it to be so loud. I was always afraid of not being able to hear it, so that definitely surprised me.
CRAZE is a course that teaches civilian response to an active shooter event. And rather than run, hide, fight, Franklin County Sheriff Deputy Mike Fetherolf says it's better to avoid, deny, and defend.
We don't care if you have to limp, crawl, army crawl, whatever. We want you to avoid the situation however you can. You don't have to run. You can walk. You can just avoid it.
Escaping an active shooter is about finding the fastest way out. Fetherolf says the weakest point for windows is the corner, not the middle, where it's most flexible. Breaking through drywall is another escape option. First grade teacher Bree Salahi.
This helps a lot just with, because we don't know what to expect ever, and especially growing up, we were taught to hide under desks and whatnot.
Where you at? Where you at?
History has taught us many active shooters go room by room, which is why CRAZE shows people how to deny them access, regardless of how a door opens. The 2007 Virginia Tech massacre is a grave example of why.
In Virginia Tech, one of the last classrooms, 205, was able to put the heavy teaching podium up in front of the door and had students lay on their back with their feet up against the podium. So as the shooter comes by, he can't get into the classroom. So in Virginia Tech, where the attack happened at Norris Hall, none of the classroom doors were able to be locked. So they were able to barricade that door and keep the shooter from coming in, and no students were shot in classroom 205, where some of the other classrooms took different actions and had very different results.
The red and yellow squares indicate people who were either killed or injured, but classroom 205 was all green.
Denying entry is huge.
But if you are forced to defend yourself from an active shooter, Deputy Fetherolf says look around, grab whatever you can, because distraction is critical in the seconds you have.
So some teachers have chemical sprays, some teachers have fake can drives, they use canned goods, chairs, tables, staplers, anything that's available in the classroom to throw.
Experience was shocking, but definitely much needed to have that realization that this is the world that we live in today, where our children and teachers alike, we're in fear of coming to school. Like, this is a reality. Hopefully we never have to use them, but it is good to have in our back pocket.
Certainly is. The biggest takeaway from many people who took that class is how they reacted to that sound of the gunfire. They say they simply froze. So Tracy, it really comes down to having that plan in place, that practice, and just knowing what to do in that instant, because seconds do really count.
Yeah, and it's, I'm glad that we shared with the viewers that we also took some of this, and it's something that you hate to think about, but it's better to have this training and not need it than to need it and not have it.
And it really is part of that whole back to school plan, right? We got to get people back familiar with things that could happen during the school year.
Yes, well, we're hoping for just a smooth, calm, no problem kind of school year. Our Wake Up C-Bus team will have more back to school coverage through the end of this week, including a great story on a local author who's going to talk about how to survive the teenage years. And the author knows because she was just a teen.